there is a need to recognise the horror show that's going on at the moment within our society. The way in which reform characterises people within our society. You heard just now the threat that's been made to migrant workers within our society. And earlier today, I was doing a television discussion, if you can call it that, with somebody from Reform UK. It was a little odd, I'll tell you what. But if I can just quote something that a wonderful man, Lavi Sifri, said some years ago. I quote, "It's easier to divide and control the people by directing them towards scapegoats than it is to solve the problems you've caused by financial inequalities, and greed."
Yeah.
That's what Lavi Sifri said some years ago.
Wise man!
Absolutely right. The reform person that I was in discussion with said that it's very important to get everybody out of this country who's on indefinite leave to remain, that migrants and refugees are a drain on our society, and that we'd all be better off if they were all, I assume, forcibly removed. So I said to her, well, why don't you shut up with your bile and your prejudices for a moment. Head off to the nearest hospital, walk around that hospital, and make a mental note as you're walking around of everybody there that you meet or you talk to who is on indefinite leave to remain, was or is a refugee or asylum seeker, is somebody that has migrated to this country from another country. Take them all out of the hospital, and what you will have then is one big, happy, lovely, empty building. Because that is the contribution that migrant workers have made to our community and our society. The NHS could not survive without migrant workers. Transport for London could not survive without migrant workers. Our cities couldn't survive. But also, what kind of society would you be creating by that kind of vile mentality? And so we'll be there with you outside Downing Street. And can we just think for a moment of the endless debate that goes on about the boat people coming into Britain. Now, get it clear, I do not think trying to travel across the channel in a small boat is a good idea. I think it's incredibly dangerous. But I think of what Basan Shire said in her wonderful poem. You only put yourself and your children, your family, in that kind of danger when it seems safer to go into a leaky boat at sea than it is to stay on the land.
Yes.
That is the reality.
That is the reality.
Around the world on becoming an asylum seeker or a refugee. And so can't we as a society and a community park the prejudice, just park it, and think of human beings around the world who are victims of war, of human rights abuse, of environmental degradation, of civil wars created by the arms trade. Look at Sudan and other places at the present time, and start looking at it with a sense of humanity, and think of all the tens of thousands that have died in the Mediterranean in the past few years, and the hundreds who've been put at risk, and some sadly who've died in crossing the Channel. Historians in 100 years' time, when they describe this period in the earlier part of the 21st century, will say, what happened to everybody that suddenly all their humanity disappeared, and they were prepared to observe and watch people drown to death because they were trying to get to a place of safety. What is wrong with us that we can't stand up for the rights of those people? And look at the causes. Look at the causes which force people to become refugees in the first place. Look at ourselves and the amount we spend on the arms trade and the way we arm people and create the wars which many of those people are the victims of. And you can go to Calais, talk to those people in those desperate camps where they're abused by the racists of the French police all the time, and it's like a Cook's tour of the modern warfare around the world, of people who've fled from the most appalling situations. I just think we, your party.uk, can be a voice for humanity, reason and decency within our society. Let's make it that. So much we've got to do, and I was really pleased